I think when we talk about the Be Generous commandment, it's almost like the subtitle of that is don't ask what's in it for us as a brand. You know, when getting our message across and ticking all these boxes and answering the brief. It's about what's in it for them. It's like what's in it for the end user, the people actually going to be receiving what you're sending out. And I think it ties really well to organising principle, which is why that's our number one kind of commandment, is that once you've established what it is you stand for as a brand, that permeates across every single thing that you do. And that will help kind of liberate the way that you behave creatively. And by generosity, we don't just mean like giving money to a good cause or ticking a kind of CSR or purpose box, because you'll find that, you know, one of the most least trusted and possibly badly behaved sectors on the planet is the financial services industry. Not everyone, but there's enough of them to kind of, you know, gain a reputation. And yet, there's a lot of big banks and so on will give huge amounts of money away, but it almost doesn't mean anything if they're behaving, you know, kind of slightly darkly, negatively, whatever on the other side. But I think so what we talk about is where brands can actually think, well, okay, look, we've got a lot of power and clout, we've got, you know, media reach, we've got access to creative agencies that can do amazing work for us, and we have this relationship. It's almost what the anthropologist Grant McCracken at MIT talked about, the network of the unacquainted. So a really good example we talk about in the book is Pampers. You know, they sell nappies or diapers, which is like, you know, a very utilitarian commodified product. So therefore what they've done is they thought, okay, we can actually behave as helicopter parents. You know, we can be generous in terms of people come to us because they crave information and knowledge. We can link all these people that don't know each other and help them answer some questions about, you know, postnatal, prenatal, even get into really dark areas like, or serious areas like postnatal depression. So if you go to the Pampers website, they've got lots of information about what it's like to be a new parent and lots of advice about lack of sleep or potty training or all the sort of fundamentals. But I think because you trust them as a brand and they can invest a lot of money talking to academics and really researching and spending time talking to parents, they can gather all this knowledge and have actually got lots of quite dense information around the idea of, what can you do to alleviate or to deal with something as serious as postnatal depression.
Yeah, I think one of the things we talk about with Be Generous is give what your brand is uniquely positioned to give, you know, and that's a great example of a brand that's in a certain space and they say, this is our opportunity to be a little bit generous, to give something that's not necessarily directly tied to, you know, our core product or service. Another example that we really love is Toyota. Yeah. They have this principle of Kaizen, which is continuous improvement in their processes. And when Hurricane Sandy hit New York, they got involved in the relief efforts and actually instead of saying, you know, here's some money or here's some supplies, things that, you know, any company could have donated, they said, how can we take what's ours, this idea of Kaizen, and bring it to this effort to make it better? So they actually helped with the efficiency of packing trucks and how they were using the staff in the relief effort and managed to increase the efficacy of that relief effort tenfold or more, just because of, you know, what they had internally that they could then give outwardly without asking for anything in return.